Good morning. I am the Reverend Ellen Quaadgras, serving in co-ministry, co-leadership here with Kirsten Hunter, our Director of Lifespan Ministry, and we are in collaborative ministry with all of you. I want to welcome you to worship on this very special Ingathering Sunday. Those of you who are here in this space, those of you who are joining us online, to this first official worship service of the year, after a summer where some have been traveling or away, and the church calendar has been a little less full. Some things have been on pause, but now we are back to a service that includes South Church's once-a-year traditional, long-anticipated water ingathering, a way to see and celebrate our interconnections as we mingle together waters we have brought with us. waters that you have gathered from places that have special meaning to you or that you imbue with special meaning, something that is symbolically you. Now, if you've never been to a water ingathering service before, or if this is your first time at South Church, then you probably did not bring any water and you have no idea what I am talking about. But don't worry. The details of what to do and how to do it will be explained as we go along. We will also have water available for anyone who did not bring any but would like to participate during that ceremony. But that ceremony is one way we recognize and celebrate this special place, and the way every one of us brings something of ourselves is part of the whole, each of you enriching this community with who you are and what you bring, and then in turn that enriches the world around us. And we show this symbolically by each pouring a few drops of water into a common bowl. And we do this with water in a time when we know that water is also a source of distress in this part of the world and all over the globe. Its absence and its much too much presence. Drought and flood, parched earth and waters flowing all too freely. As we mingle our waters today and mingle our spirits in the coming year, may we know this as a community where we care about the health of our global home. May we make this a community that cares about the health of this planet and her people, where we know our future depends on our collective ability to tend and share when there is not enough and help one another when there is too much. As we bring water today, may we remember that as water flows through and around us, it also can flow deep underground. It can well up even in parched, dry earth. And may we remember that water may flood in, but it also does flow out, sometimes revealing what was hidden under the surface, something we couldn't see before. Sometimes the truths that we begin to see are foundational, like the fact that the land upon this sanctuary was built was originally stewarded by the Abenaki, Wabanaki, and Pennacook nations, who did not cede this land and who are still here. As we grow our awareness of the past, may new actions and ideas emerge. As we deepen our understanding of the wrongs of our history, may it help us to imagine how to set things right in our complex present toward justice for all people and better care of our earth. If you are brand new to our church and want to learn more about us, please fill out a card you'll find in your pew. I invite everyone to take a look at your order of service, which lists all the wonderful people involved in making our service happen today, both those visible up front and those behind the scenes. Please note this is an all-ages service, so all of us of all ages get to be together. May we take in the sweet sound of our youngest, even as we bask in the sweet presence of those of us with a few more years. It is good to be together. And everyone of every age is invited to stay for fellowship right outside the doors for coffee hour and treats and conversation. And my challenge to you this week is to find someone you do not know and ask them this crucial question: pool or lake? Or ocean or pond? If you want to swim, where do you go? You can think about that. Please note that assisted listening devices and large print hymnals are available in the back of the sanctuary. Please ask an usher if you need assistance. Please silence your cell phone if you have one. It is now time for some announcements.
Ocean. Ocean is my answer. Good morning. There is so much. Can you hear me? Is this working? Oh, right on. If I have to be right on it. Okay, I'll be right on it. Please read this order of service, but I wanted to just note just a couple things. One is an appreciation. This weekend, among so many other things, was the Pocket Garden Tour. So I would just like to invite everyone to give a round of applause to every person here and at home and across this community who helped make the Pocket Garden Tour happen, who baked cookies, who sat in gardens, who folded and organized paperwork, who greeted people. Thank you, thank you, thank you to our whole community for that incredibly heavy lift and joyful, joyful experience. Let's give a round of applause. And just a little flag that there is the All Church Read book group coming up this Wednesday. Ellen and I have invited you all to read the book Rooted. I will be sharing an excerpt from that book during the service this morning. I hope many of you can join us. If you didn't know about it, I still encourage you to read the book. It's wonderful. That's happening on Wednesday. So many things. Morning poems on Thursday morning. We're signing up for the fall retreat right now. There's Circle Supper sign up, covenant groups are registering, and maybe all of that is very overwhelming and you don't even know how to manage it all. So we have a special service happening this fall, and I'm going to invite them up and let them tell you about themselves.
Good morning. I'm Kirsten Vernon.
Joanne Holman.
And I'm Ann Sherpick, and we're here representing Learning Associates and the Covenant Group Steering Committee, which have joined forces.
And following the service, at our social time, we will be serving up learning on a silver platter. As you participate in today's water and gathering service, think about what you are hungry and thirsty for. Then come chat with us so that we can make recommendations from our menu of opportunities to learn and connect here at South Church. Whether you are a regular patron of this establishment or you're in the mood for an appetizer or a 5-course meal, we will have something for you and your family. If you don't have time to chat today, take a brochure and we will be here to chat with you over the next several weeks.
Fabulous. There are new brochures in your pews. Thank you, Learning Associates.
As we light the chalice here in the sanctuary, we invite those of you who are watching online from wherever you are to light a chalice where you are. We light the chalice to these words from Langston Hughes. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the river. Please rise as you are able and join me in reciting the South Church mission statement. It's in your order of service or on your screen. At South Church, we nurture spiritual growth through worship, learning, and community. We celebrate the worth and dignity of all people and inspire one another to act on our faith in the larger community. Thank you. About 40 years ago, I was an adult chaperone on an upward-bound trip to hike Chicorowa. Many of you probably know that mountain. And we were going to spend the night at the cabin and in tents on the mountainside. There were about 4 adults and 20 students. We brought our own water bottle for hydration on the way up, and then we expected to refill at the spring by the cabin, because that's what the book said, that there's a spring there. The group were not seasoned hikers, and the hike was hard. We were so glad when we made it to the cabin. And the sun was close to setting when someone yelled, "The spring is dry. There's no water." No water to put in the pot to boil the noodles we brought for supper. No water to fill the water bottles and then fill us. No water. All we had was 1 bag of oranges to get us through the night and the next morning. I still remember that initial gut-wrenching, tightening fear of no water. I remember my dry mouth and having to tell myself not to panic, that in the morning we would descend and I could drink all the water I wanted. That desperate feeling of thirst and the inability to quench that thirst, that memory has stayed with me all these 40 years. It was a small moment, nothing life-threatening, no real discomfort, but it was pivotal for me because it highlighted the importance of water and how I should never take it for granted. So I don't know about you, but I had a hard time deciding where to get my water from for the ingathering today. There's a sacredness to this ceremony, the sharing of our most precious resource, water that is later used for other occasions, like our blessing of our youth as they head out into the world, or our welcoming of the young as they begin their journey on this earth. Do I head to the woods at York Pond, a water body I visited almost daily for 30 years, but hadn't visited since last fall? Or do I take it from the Atlantic Ocean, my place of daily walks, renewal, serenity? Do I take it from my tap, my Kittery Water District water that originates from 4 York ponds, Bolter, Middle, Upper Folly, and Belmarsh? Or do I take it from the York River, a nationally recognized wild and scenic river, a river that supports an abundance of wildlife, migrating birds, essential eelgrass, and my kayak? How fortunate am I to have so many choices? I think about this a lot, about my great fortunes, and I also think about how many on this wondrous planet do not share in my fortunes. I think about the residents of Flint, Michigan, who drank lead-contaminated city water for years, or the citizens of Haiti who had their water contaminated by cholera. Or closer to home, the residents of Pease Tradeport who'd fought for years to have their wells tested, only to find high levels of PFAS, forever chemicals found in firefighting foam, poisoning their water. And I think about all those who don't have access to enough water, or any water. Millions of people and wildlife in the Horn of Africa, millions more in the Middle East. Water is essential for life, our life, and life on this planet, or any other planet for that matter. Fresh, clean water, access to fresh, clean water. So as we gather today to celebrate all the waters that we hold precious in our lives, Let us take in fully what a blessing that is. How blessed we are. May we never take it for granted. May we support and join the water protectors in our lives, and better yet, may we become water protectors so that we can do all that we can to protect our precious resource of water on this planet. May it be so. Our opening music is hymn 1007 in the Teal hymnal. There's a river flowing in my soul. Please rise as you are able.
Okay, yes. I would love to invite all kids to come join me in this space for a story. Kids and kids at heart, please come join me. There's clearly a preferred side today. There is a beautiful land with huge elephants and tall giraffes and little tiny meerkats. And there's one source of water on this land. It's a lovely watering hole, and all of the animals drink from it every day. The elephants also love a shower, and so they dip their trunks in and suck up some water, and then they spray themselves, and it gets a little rowdy sometimes. And the giraffes kind of roll their eyes at this silly behavior. And the meerkats, they like to just get in early, have their drinks, and leave so that they don't get sprayed. And every year, there is a dry season when the water level gets a little low. And when the water is low, the elephants know that they can't take their showers because we need to make sure that there's enough drinking water for everyone. And unfortunately, with climate change, that's been happening a little more often. The water gets very low, and it happens regularly, and it's been kind of a problem. And so one day, an elephant had a big idea. What if we built up the edges around the watering hole so that it would be like a huge bowl? And then when it finally rains, it would fill up with more water, and we wouldn't have to worry about having enough. Well, all the giraffes and elephants thought that was a fantastic idea. And the meerkats didn't hear the idea because they had already come for their drinks and left. But what's not to love? So the giraffes and the elephants got to work right away. And they got logs and boulders, and they filled in the spaces with smaller rocks and soil. And they worked really hard all day, packing it nice and tight. And when they had finished, they congratulated themselves on a job well done, and they went to bed for the night, hoping that it would rain soon. So in the morning, it hadn't rained, and the meerkats woke up, and they rubbed their little eyes, and they ran over to the watering hole to get there before shower time. And they were very surprised to see this enormous barrier all around the watering hole. And it was built so well, and it was smooth and strong that they couldn't climb it or anything. They couldn't get to the water. And pretty soon, the elephants and the giraffes came along, and they saw that the water was a little lower, but there was still enough to have a drink and a quick shower. So the giraffes bent over the wall with their long necks and drank, and the elephants put their trunks over and pulled up some water and sprayed themselves a bit. And the meerkats, they were able to drink a little bit of the water that splashed off the elephants. But have you ever tasted elephant shower water? Oh, it tasted bad. Whew. So the next day was kind of the same. It still hadn't rained. The meerkats got up, ran to the watering hole, saw the big wall was still there, and the elephants and giraffes came, and they saw that today there was only enough water for drinking, not enough for showers. And so that meant that the meerkats wouldn't even get to drink elephant shower water today. And that was a problem. So they tried to tell the elephants and giraffes what was wrong, but elephant and giraffe ears are way up high, and meerkat mouths are way down low. And so they weren't heard, and they went away feeling very thirsty and very afraid. And I'm going to pause the story right there. We're going to do it a little differently today. We're not going to go downstairs, but in a little bit, we'll come back for part 2 of the story. So right now, you all can either go back to your seats, or you're welcome to sit in the front over here with me until we're ready for part 2.
Let us gather our hearts and minds in a spirit of prayer or meditation.
Bring me a little water, Sylvie.
Sometimes in life, there is not enough of what we need. Water, time, money.
Bring me a little water now.
What do we do then?
Bring me a little water, Sylvie.
What can we bring?
every little once in a while.
Are there things going on in your life where you do not have enough or don't feel like you do?
Bring me little water, Sylvie.
You have run out of patience for your job, your kids, for yourself.
Bring me little water now.
You are out of ideas.
Bring me little water, Sylvie.
You don't know what to do about the school, about those people, about our beloved earth.
Every little once in a while. Can't you see me coming?
What can we bring when we've gone dry?
Can't you see me now?
Can waters of the Spirit well up through parched ground?
I will bring a little water.
Can flood waters part to reveal something maybe we couldn't see before?
Every little once in a while.
May we, this hour, this moment, acknowledge what is dry within us, witness it, and honor it. Where do we need help? May we, this moment, honor what is dry around us. Listen to our neighbors in the pew or our neighbors across the globe. Where do others need help? May we seek a quenching spirit that we may not yet have been able to feel. And bring a little water now. May our own caring actions open up a flow within and through us. Reconnect us with ourselves and each other. Drawing from a well so deep we may have forgotten it was there. May we bring a little water to ourselves. May we bring a little water to each other. May we bring a little water of our care to the world. Let us take a moment now for quiet reflection, meditation, or prayer. Amen.
It's time for part 2 of our story. So all kids, maybe this time you travel like an elephant or a giraffe or a meerkat. Come back, kids and kids at heart, for part 2. So at the end of part 1, the meerkats were in a dangerous situation because they couldn't get any water. The next day was the same, still no rain, so the meerkats got in close to the elephants, hoping to catch any little drops that might fall down. And an elephant almost stepped right on a meerkat. And she let out an "ah!" because she was startled. "Why are you under my feet? You are going to get hurt." And the meerkat tried to explain, and the elephant could see their mouth moving, but they were way down there, so the elephant couldn't hear. "Speak up, I can't hear you." The meerkat tried, but their voice just couldn't carry that far. And a giraffe that was nearby saw what was going on and bent their head down low and put their ear close so they could listen. And the meerkat said, "We can't get to the water, so we are just trying to catch any water that falls." So the giraffe told the other big animals what the meerkat had said, and they all felt really, really bad for the meerkats. And they decided that they would help right away. And they all had different ideas about how they could help the meerkats. The elephant said, "Their noses are all wrong. They need trunks like ours, so we'll make them some." And so they got busy and they made these long, awkward tubes, and they put one end of each tube over the wall down to the water, and they tied the other ends to the meerkats' heads. And they told them to suck in like how you'd use a big, awkward straw. And the meerkats either couldn't get the water to come all the way up, or if they did, it would come flooding down and practically drown them. So that didn't work. And then a giraffe said, no. The problem is clearly their necks. If they had long, graceful necks like ours, they could reach over the wall and bend down and drink the water. And they actually tried to stretch the meerkats. Can you believe that? That was terrible. That didn't work. And another giraffe said, no, clearly the problem is their legs. Look how short those little legs are. They need nice, long legs, so let's make them some stilts. And they did. And the meerkats tried to get up there and tried to balance, and it was really hard. And when they did manage to balance, they still couldn't get down to the other side where the water was. They tried all kinds of things, and nothing worked. And eventually, the giraffes and the elephants shrugged and shook their heads. And they were like, too bad, we tried everything to help you, but you just can't be fixed. So we're going to pause there again. We'll come back very soon for part 3. And again, you can either go back to your seats or you can stay in the front.
It's a cliffhanger, friends. We don't always know what will help other people. Many of us here have probably discovered on our own we can't really fix other people, even with long snouts put on their heads and behind their ears. But there are ways to support each other: attention, listening, heart, and yes, sometimes money is exactly the kind of help that people need. For example, through an organization like Gather, with whom we share the offering plate this month. Gather has been serving Seacoast residents facing hunger for 200 years, and they are committed to ending local hunger by collaborating with partners to address the root causes of it through the Seacoast and Maine. The other half of the offering will go to support everything we do at South Church. Donations may be made here in person or online, or by mailing a check to 73 Court Street or using the Venco app. Let us offer a little financial water to support and sustain all these good works.
And the end of this story, come on back for part 3. So, the elephants and giraffes had tried to fix the meerkats and decided they just couldn't be fixed. But one kind and gentle elephant looked at the sad and frustrated faces of the meerkats, and she asked a really important question that no one else had asked. Meerkats, please tell us, what can we do to help? And so the meerkats tried to answer, but they were way down there, everybody else is way up here. And one of the elephants grabbed a meerkat with its trunk and picked it up to bring it closer to its ear. And the elephant who had asked the question stopped that elephant and said, "Put that meerkat down." And then, very slowly, that elephant knelt. Oof. Oh. And she brought her grand body all the way down, close to the earth. And she tipped her big head to the side so that her ear would be close to the meerkats. And the other big animals watched what was going on, and then they too got down close to the earth and brought their ears close and listened. And the meerkats said, "The way that the watering hole is structured now just doesn't work for our bodies. We need the wall to come down." And the big animals said, "Well, we want to have enough water all the time. We want to be able to drink and shower all the time and not run out." And the meerkats said, "Well, what if the wall came down and then we dug deeper in the watering hole and made it deeper so that it's still a great big bowl and it would fill up when it rains, but that way we could all reach it." And the elephants and giraffes didn't know how to dig, but the meerkats knew how to dig. Annabelle knows. And so the meerkats asked the elephants and giraffes if they would be willing to learn and to help, because this was going to be a big, big job. The elephants wanted to have a lot of water, and they also wanted to care for the meerkats, so they agreed to learn and help. And the giraffes, well, they're really good neighbors, and they love a community project, so they were in too. And so the wall came down, and the meerkats gave digging instructions, and then the giraffes got in the middle and dug, and the meerkats worked around the edge, and the elephants worked the space in between. And they worked really hard, and it went pretty quickly. And then, as soon as they were done, the rains came. And the rains filled that watering hole right up with plenty of water. All of the animals had enough water, and they all felt safe and cared for. So now, let's all go back to our seats.
Have you ever played the game where you choose which superpower you want to have? I remember playing that a lot as a kid, talking with my siblings or my friends about whether it would be better to have the power of invisibility or the power of flight or the power of time travel, or maybe you chose to be anything proof. It's fun to imagine magical superpowers, but it's also fun to think about the superpowers you actually have. Did you know that there is a word for that kind of superpower, the superpower that you actually have? I just learned it in the book we're going to be talking about on Wednesday, in Rooted, Life at the Crossroads of Science, Nature, and Spirit, which was written by Lyanda Lynn Haupt. And she taught me this word I'd never heard before. The word is charism. Like charisma, but without the A at the end. Charism. Charism, she writes, is an enchanted word from the Western monastic tradition. A charism is a particular gift or power, almost a superpower, received in grace through inspiratus, the spirit wind, and returned to the world as favor freely given. In other words, we choose to give our gifts to the world. It's something that we have to freely give. We each, she says, have our own calling, our own charism, the unique gift of our own life and creativity. It is useful to think of it this way, as a particular grace that is ours to give freely with devotion, with service, with joy, though not without hardship. She clarifies two dimensions to recognizing our individual charisms. The first is the earthen need that summons us. And the second is the gift through which we bring our response to this summons into the world. The story that Jen DB shared this morning illustrates this beautifully. The earthen need in the story was a secure water source for everyone. The charism emerged for each of the characters in different ways, right? The elephant showed themselves to be a good listener, to be intuitive, to think, to ask an important question. The giraffes were up for a community project. The meerkats knew how to advocate. They knew how to use their voice, and they were such good diggers. All of these different charisms that emerged to address this earthen need, a need that we all share. Haupt writes, "Nothing has prepared us for this planetary moment. There is no pre-walked path to offer direction. Our individual charism cannot be prescribed, proscribed, or even thought up in our head. It can, however, be listened for. A rooted, ongoing, reciprocal conversation with the wild earth. A spiral of inward receptive stillness and outward creative action." In her words, I hear an affirmation of the ministry we are doing with one another here. We nurture spiritual growth. We are learning how to seek stillness, how to listen to what our life is telling us, each of us, individually and in companionship with one another. And we engage in that creative action together. We do this not without hardship. I really appreciate that. It's important to remember that. The easy path is often to pretend the world doesn't need us, to disregard what is broken, what is calling to us, what we are noticing out there, to just take care of our own needs. Choosing to offer our gifts to the world requires sacrifice. The elephants and the giraffes could have ignored the meerkats' protests, were it not for the fact that they recognized their charism and gave it freely. Had they made a different choice, that would have been a much sadder story, not just for the meerkats. Because when we ignore our superpowers, when we choose not to give of our gift freely to this world, we also miss out on the most miraculous joy. A joy that comes from creating something more whole, something healing. A joy that comes from seeing what is possible when we listen and we act. This world needs healing in countless ways, and that can feel overwhelming if you're trying to heal it all. But when you begin to realize that you are just one part of the solution, when you begin to discover the particular way that you were made to serve this world, when you begin to see that you have company in this work, then things begin to feel different. So what are your gifts? What is your charism? Can you guess what's about to happen? In your order of service, there is a blue water droplet. If there isn't, or if you don't have a pen, please raise your hand and an usher will bring one down to you. If you need a blue water droplet or a pen, there may be pencils in the pew, so start looking there. I see a couple hands raised, so I'm hoping, yep, I see them coming. Your supplies are on the way. We're only going to write on one side of this water droplet, but I'm going to ask you 2 questions. And I'm going to let you think about the first one and put down an answer before I tell you the second. The first question is this: what is an earthen need that summons you? In other words, what is something on this earth that needs attention which you feel particularly drawn toward? An earthen need might be land preservation. It might be addressing food insecurity, supporting the arts, working to eliminate poverty. Maybe you're passionate about supporting public education, or you're interested in politics and making them more righteous. Maybe you're worried about the health of the ocean, or about orcas, or about forests. What is one thing, don't overthink it, one thing that you're passionate about? And I'm going to give us a minute of silence to think about that. Okay, hopefully you came up with that first part of the question. So there is your earthen need. And now it's time for a little bit of listening, the internal kind of listening, which is listen in your body to what you've learned about yourself. So you can't, as Haupt pointed out, you can't just decide on a charism. You have to listen for it. You have to learn it. And you are surely still to discover more things about yourself, more gifts that are contained within. But maybe you've learned a few things about yourself already. So as you think about the earthen need that you've identified, what is a gift you have that you can give toward that need? And as we're thinking about that, as we're taking some time to reflect, we're going to have some inspirational music. Maybe you're an artist or a musician. Maybe your superpower is sitting quietly in nature and connecting with trees. Maybe you have a passion for organizing demonstrations, or maybe you're good at whispering prayers. Perhaps you can think of one yourself that I haven't named. We all have many. Speaking of gifts, singing is certainly one. Thank you. So we're here again, about to begin this annual ceremony that many of us have done many times, but perhaps for you it's the first time. And I forgot to mention, but if you are at home and you would like to participate, there is a live chat on the screen, on the YouTube screen. If you click on the live chat, you can write your charism into the chat and we will write it onto a water droplet for you here at South Church. What I'm going to ask for you all to do as we start off, Ellen's going to step down and add the beginning of water to the bowl here. She'll be adding water from our previous water ingatherings. And the water droplets that you've written, I hope you will bring forward along with the waters you have brought with you today. Those water droplets we will collect. Ellen and I will share some of them out loud during this service, and then we'll be making a big display of all of the waters you bring, all the little drops of water each of you bring to this congregation, and that will be downstairs in the social hall for us to look at this fall. As you come forward to bring your water, please come down the sides, just as we do for candle lighting, and back up the center. Yeah, and if you have not brought water and you would like to participate in that way, you can pour from the jar that Ellen is holding, just a few drops. You can be a part of bringing the waters from previous years. And place your paper water droplet in either of the two wicker baskets to either side. As the music begins, may we pause. May we slow down. Take this day, in this moment, into our hearts. Feel our connection to one another. Feel the love in this room and the hope and the blessings.
Passion is coral reefs, and talking with people with open ears is a charism. Need to have the second mic turned on, please.
Our earth needs peace, equality during climate change, a strength of community connection, and a willingness to take action.
Decrease fossil fuels, help preserve the planet. The power of passion, the action.
Caring for small children can be done by listening and watching and just being.
Passionate about gardening and supporting farmers.
To better use and recycle materials, I can advocate for change.
The cause is children, the gift is love.
In order to develop connections between people and provide support to those feeling alone or unsupported, I come with a listening heart and ears.
Understanding different religions of the world through culture, and the gift is learning, reading, singing, and bold sharing.
Tending to the mental health of our community through listening, conflict resolution, and steady thought.
Earth in need, equal distribution of wealth, economic justice, access to basic needs for all, including healthcare. Gifts, my empathy, my voice, my passion, my ability to make connections.
There is a need for civility in politics and healing the divides, understanding, less judgment, assumption, more listening. I am open to being changed, learning and growing and listening.
Earth in need is performing arts, and the superpower is performing and teaching.
The earth in need to build community. I can serve through strategizing.
Earth in need is creating a more balanced and less biased government. And the superpower, I am strong in public speaking, being expressive and persuasive.
I see an earthly need to save this planet from climate change, to decolonize our human economy. My charism is inspiring others through words and actions to do good. Benevolent mind control.
The earth in need is supporting families. And the charism is sharing authentically to help others know they are not alone.
The need to address inequality and oppression. I serve this need through intuition, discernment, and empathy.
The need is helping with other people's pain and suffering. The gift is living the politics that I believe in, pursuing a better me.
The earth in need for spiritual awareness, which I serve through listening to others. Soul talk.
The earth in need is food and shelter and security. And the charism is I can cook and I have time.
Time to think. Time to heal.
The need is mental health, education, and advocacy. The charism is the ability to normalize the conversation.
Wanting people to have enough to eat. I have money, time, and I sing.
The need is wildlife habitat conservation. And the charism is understanding of my own and others' personal need for a sustainable and nourishing environment to live and thrive in.
And one last need, animal welfare, which I serve through empathy and dedication.
And there we have it. Waters from around the state and around the world imbued with our earthen a witness to the earthen needs and our own hopes and longings, as well as our passions and strengths and hopes. Each contribution sacred, each representing a precious life right here and right there. We have blended them in a ritual of communion, symbolically mingling our very selves with one another.
After today's service, we will prepare this water to be saved for next year's ceremony, representing the continuing stream of this congregation's life. We will also reserve some for our rites of passage, for the dedication of children into our community, for welcoming new members, for anyone who would like to use it for a marriage ceremony or any sacred ritual among us.
May this water and all it represents be infused with the spirit of this congregation, blessed by the love that is in our hearts. In the coming time, in whatever hardships may come, let us remember what's been shared and this community that holds it sacred.
We have brought a little water. May this moment be life-giving as our hopes live in us and among us. As we begin this congregational year together, let us now join and sing once more, Bring a Little Water, all together.
I heard a few of you picking up on the body percussion that I was accompanying this piece with. So you are invited to either continue that from your pew or come on up. We're going to join a body percussion section right here.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we will carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Today we've come to this special place, bringing something of ourselves, hopes, passion, superpowers, dreams, mingling our waters in a common bowl, mingling our gifts in this sacred community.
As we go forward from this place, may we know we belong. May we know we are connected. May we know that each one matters.
May the care and love that we have to share ripple out beyond these walls, touching all who need it upon this beautiful blue boat home.